Update. Girlfriend's best friend demanded I break up with her so he could date her. Original story. Title says most of it. My girlfriend has a friend we'll call not really friend, NRF. NRF has obviously had a thing for my girlfriend for a long time, but she told him firmly that they're just friends. Well, she was engaged to her last boyfriend, and NRF was obviously very upset about this. Then the boyfriend cheated on my girlfriend, and somehow the event was recorded on his cell phone and anonymously sent to my girlfriend. They broke up, and NRF immediately started making moves on my now girlfriend, but my girlfriend got on plenty of fish and met me. NRF was absolutely livid about this. It was immediately hostile towards me. Finally, last night he messaged me and demanded I break up with my girlfriend so he could date her because they were meant to be together. That I'm abusive. I'm not. And on and on. I showed my girlfriend a message, and she was at loss. I told her that we can't continue if NRF is in the picture, but I'm pretty sure he set up her ex to cheat on her so he could move in. She's not sure what to do, but I'm firm. Should I break up with her if she refuses to cut NRF out of our lives? Now for the top advice before reading the update. You're right here, to be honest. Sucks for her, but NRF sounds like he's not right in the head and potentially dangerous. I would have the same expectations as you in your position. She needs to cut him off completely if she wants a chance at a healthy relationship with anyone. He's waving his true colors at her. Good luck. Great points. OP, it's good that you told her you can't stay together if she's still friends with him. Try to talk to her again from the point of her safety. He really does sound like he could get dangerous. You care about her as a person, not just as your girlfriend. Even if you were just friends, you wouldn't want to worry about this guy around her. Y'all are too old for this kind of drama. Yes, break up with her if she refuses to cut this predatory creep dude out. Tell me about it. I feel like I'm back in high school. It's only the tip of the drama iceberg if she keeps relationships like that alive. That fact that she's not sure what to do speaks volumes. Should be an easy decision. She's always felt sorry for him. I think that's why she let him hang around rather than any real friendship. Why does she feel sorry for someone who is aggressively interfering in her relationships? He's not some poor little puppy. He's a disrespectful jerk who doesn't care about what she feels or wants and will stumble over boundaries to get what he wants. Either she's extremely naive or she enjoys the attention. At 37, my money is on he enjoys the attention. And now for the update. Long story short, she cut him off, blocked him and everything, and told him to forget she existed. We talked about it, and she decided she was done with him after she realized that she'd do this no matter who she dated. She thought she could just ghost him and he'd give up after getting no response. Well, after a couple of days of him spamming her phone alternatively with professions of love, and demands she call the police to have me arrested for mistreating her, she had enough and texted him the above. She did it through text, so there would be a record of what was said so he couldn't claim she said things she didn't. He went predictably crazy, but she stuck to her guns. He messaged her from an alternative account and said he was going to end himself if she didn't break up with me and get with him. Her last response ever to him was, "It's sideways for attention, long ways for results." Yes, it's childish, but she figured he was being a child, so she threw that out there. She'd never been mean to him before, but it seemed to work. She hasn't heard from him since. I checked, he's not dead. His posting on another forum about the evil man who kept him from his true love and how he'll never be happy, it is all my fault, so I consider this a win. Also, in one of his last messages, he accused me of using witchcraft to seduce her. He's from a very conservative Christian family that believes in that sort of thing. He was always inviting her to church. She's not religious at all. Maybe he decided God wanted them to get married or something. Sorry there's not more, but that's all I'm comfortable sharing. Dude, anyone who would say this to a stalker, her last response ever to him was, "It's sideways for attention, long ways for results," should never be trifled with. Marry her. I can't. I'm too busy summoning demons to seduce more women to my dark cause. Look for my next thread. An incubus stole my girlfriend. What do I do? In a couple of weeks. Don't forget to use plenty of salt in your protective circle. Seriously though, you and your lady should continue to be careful for some time yet. This guy has invested way too much time and energy into his delusions for this to be the end. He might be quiet now, but he'll probably resurface somehow, somewhere. They usually do. If you both don't have security cameras at home, I suggest that you get some. I do, and she's getting some. She's sure he'll pop up again after a while to see if we're still together. She doesn't do social media, so he'll have a hard time following her online. Just put the word out to her friends that he knows about not to give him any information. Any tips on witchcraft stuff? Asking for a friend. Seriously now, good thing she saw reality for what it was. As others have said, be careful for the foreseeable future, and keep the records of his rants in case a restraining order is needed. One thing you might want to consider, if he threatens self-harm again, call 911. Get him picked up on a psychiatric hold. Show him that you don't mess around with self-harm threats. My friend Sam was dating a woman who locked herself in the bathroom and threatened to end herself because he was trying to break up with her. So he called 911. She overheard him and came out of the bathroom saying she didn't mean it. She got to spend 48 hours at the hospital because Sam does not mess around with self-harm threats. I've known several people who ended themselves. Self-harm threats are nothing to take lightly, ever. Good for your friend. Last story is titled, Update. Found out husband 25 male has been cheating on me 24 female, and I haven't told him yet. Original story. I'm totally shaking right now and my mind is numb. So if this doesn't make any sense, please keep that in mind. Husband 25 male and I 24 female have been married for a year and a half. We celebrate our second anniversary in February. We knew each other since college, and he's always been a good husband and partner. Weirdly enough, lately he was even more attentive than usual, and honestly it felt great to have a partner who wanted you so much, and I didn't have the slightest clue that it might even be a lie. I wouldn't have even suspected anything, but about a week ago I asked to use his phone to call my parents who live in another country, as his phone plan has international free minutes. But he refused, saying he used them all up. When I asked to check how many are left, he got frustrated as he was playing on his PS5 and just wanted to play in peace. I shrugged it off as stress, but something in the back of my mind was telling me to look into this further. For the next few days, every time I would ask to see his phone, he would get defensive. The other day he did hand me his phone, but hovered over me the whole time, then snatched it right away saying he needed it for work. Mind you, I only asked for it to use his PayPal account. I didn't even go near any of his social media apps. I'll admit my curiosity got the best of me, while acting like I was scrolling through my phone to take note of his passcode. It took a while, but I finally got it. The only time the phone isn't on him is when he's asleep. So last night I took it and started searching. To his credit, I found nothing in his contacts or his latest chats to suggest he was having an affair. But once I checked the archives in his WhatsApp, it was all there. He's cheating on me with a co-worker. One I've met many times, and she would have been the last person I would suspect. She is married, 38 years old, and has a 12-year-old daughter. I feel disgusted reading all of their chats. I felt like I was going to throw up. But the biggest punch in the gut was when he told her that he loved her. She's out on vacation and he told her, I can't wait to see you. And I wish your husband wasn't there so I could pick you up from the airport and hug you. Honestly, I feel numb. My heart has been shattered into a million pieces this morning. When he was leaving, I told him I was sick and couldn't get up. He asked if he needed to take me to the doctor, to which I just said I'll ask my friend to take me, and he left. I don't know how to talk to him about this. A part of me wants answers, but another part of me wants to believe this isn't real and to save my marriage. But what is there to save if he's already told this woman he loves her? I feel so many things. So much anger, resentment. Yet I'm utterly crushed and I have been second-guessing myself. Did I go wrong anywhere? I know I shouldn't think like this, but I can't help myself. I don't know how to go forward with this. He's going to be back home in a few hours. I thought about breaking everything in the house so he could see how he broke our home, then thought of leaving without telling him, but I want answers as well. I seriously don't know what to do here. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Call a lawyer. Show him what you have. This is a situation which requires a clear head and a steady hand. I do have screenshot, but I'll be honest, you telling me to call a lawyer was like being hit by a ton of bricks. I don't know if I can go through with this, let alone a steady hand. Don't say anything to him. He will only deny or blame you. I know this is a massive shock, but you will never be in a stronger position with him than you are now. Get STD tested ASAP. People don't just wake up and turn into cheaters. The cheating you know about is usually just the tip of the iceberg. Contact a divorce attorney, gather all the information he tells you to, and then serve him with papers. Check out the Chump Lady website. Good luck. We don't live in our home country. Shouldn't I have to fly back there as that's where we got married to do all this? Tell her husband. She deserves to have her own life blown up as well. It's called consequences. He needs consequences too. Don't bury this and play the pick-me dance. That never works. Oh, I'm trying to get hold of her husband, and basically what I've been doing all day. So far, all I've got is an Instagram account which doesn't seem active. Do not say a word until you've spoken to an attorney and got yourself sorted. Then talk to the husband and let him get his affairs in order before you blow the lid off. Edit. Hi guys, I'm currently on a plane back home. I have major motion sickness on planes, so I can't look at phone screens for too long, but I just wanted to inform you guys that I talked to my husband. The short version is, he's also on the next flight back home. We lived in an Islamic country and adultery is a crime, for which he could be jailed for months if the husband files a report on him. So obviously he was more worried about himself than our marriage. Currently, I don't feel anything for him, not even anger. I think I'll get my things sorted out after I've thought things over a few days. Thanks for all the support and well wishes. Truly, you all have been amazing. And now for the update. First off, I want to apologize for not properly replying everyone and going missing in action. I still have many unread chats and replies on a post, which was locked by the time I could get around to it. It's been a hectic few days for me, to say the least. While still answering all of you, the husband of the affair partner replied to my DM. I had sent him a simple, "Hi, can you please reply to this, it's kind of important." And while his profile seemed inactive, he surprisingly replied quite quickly. I got to the point so I wouldn't chicken out, and told him how his wife and my husband are having an affair. Explained to him they work together and sent him the screenshots of the WhatsApp chat. Reminding you I had yet to confront my own husband with everything, as he hasn't arrived from work yet, and there was a good few hours before he usually arrived home. I guess the husband might have confronted his wife. And through her, my husband found out, but it was obvious he knew because that night didn't arrive at his usual time. I was thinking of packing up everything and leaving without telling him to begin with, but I guess I wanted answers from him as to why he'd do this to me. When it dawned on me that this man is a coward and I should just leave for my own betterment, I booked a flight back home and left for the airport before he even arrived home. I was waiting for the results of my COVID test at the airport when he called me asking where I was, and I told him. Part of me wants to laugh at what happened next, and part of me wants to cry. Not even in my wildest dreams would I have dreamt of the scenario. He tells me to wait for him and we'll take the next flight after this one together. I ask him why would I even consider waiting for him, and he tells me it's all because of my stupidity. As we lived in an Islamic country, adultery is a crime punishable by at least a few months up to a year. So if her husband files a report, he could end up in jail. He basically orders me to stay put, and that we'll talk when he arrives at the airport. I flat out tell him I'm leaving, and that he knows about the law and I didn't. He should have thought twice before sleeping with someone else's wife. After that, I turned off my phone and boarded my flight a few hours later. Now I'm back home, and everything is slowly sinking in. It's apparent my marriage can no longer go on. I have no love left for the man who, instead of apologizing or at least faced me, ended up telling me, "How could you?" and turned me into the bad guy. His parents have even accused me of ruining their son's career, as his boss fired him at his AP when he found out. It even blacklisted him, so now he can't get another work visa for that country. Also, because he left in such a hurry, many things were left unresolved, like we had paid a whole year's rent in advance and still had a few months in the lease. And also things like the furniture and monthly bills. So now he's scrambling trying to get his friends to suspend everything and sell off the furniture, and his parents are angry at the amount of stress I've caused their son. Thankfully, my parents, most of our friends, and even most of his family are on my side and agree he's the one who screwed up. Many of you suggested I do something to get revenge, but honestly, none of this was my intention. Neither do I get any happiness from it. I also have zero intention of wanting anything out of the divorce. I can earn my own money, and there's nothing he can give me that will make the pain and heartbreak I've felt these past few days any better. I'm not shaming people who do seek alimony. I'm just saying I prefer to sever all ties and finish this off as soon as possible. I want to move on with my life and have already reached out to my old employer for joining the company, to which they told me I could return whenever. Plus, I'm reconnecting with all old friends I missed while living abroad. Husband has hinted me he wants to talk and maybe even consider reconciling, but I've made a strict only talk to my lawyer rule and made it clear that is not happening ever. I don't know if this is a good update, but this is the current reality. My divorce might take a while, maybe even up to a year, as judges usually will give couples a few months if one person seeks reconciliation and isn't willing to have an uncontested divorce. So for now, this man is still legally my husband, but emotionally he's currently a complete stranger to me. I thank all of you for the love and support. The advice you all gave was really great. Thanks to all of you, I'm currently lawyered up and all contact is through him. Screw him. Good for you, OP. Sorry this happened. Stick to your guns. Better yet, don't screw him. It only communicate via lawyers. All the best for you, OP. Sounds like you are in a good place and there is no need for revenge on your ex-husband. He has created a very large mess all by himself. It will take time for you to process all. Talk with family, friends, tell them everything. Have the best life going forward. His parents are angry at the amount of stress have caused their son. The amount of stress cost himself and you. Make sure to always stress how this is 100% his fault. And no one's fault but his. He deserves everything he's getting and more. He's the freaking moron who lost his wife and job so he could get his dick wet. Knowing it was a crime, knowing all the consequences. No mercy on that guy. None at all. His parents have even accused me of ruining their son's career as his boss fired him at his AP when he found out. It even blacklisted him so now he can't get another work visa for that country. So it had nothing to do with him sleeping with another man's wife in a country where adultery is illegal and punishable by law? The apple really doesn't fall far from the tree. Imagine the horror of these people being grandparents to your kids. Thank God you dodged that bullet. I'm currently lawyered up and all contact is through him. Well done. You're going to be fine.
Update. Am I the a-hole for giving my girlfriend an ultimatum about her male best friend? Original post. I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend, Sarah, 26 female, for just over a year now. And while I love her, there's one thing that's been eating at me since the very beginning. Her relationship with her male best friend, Jake, 27 male. Jake has been Sarah's ride or die since college, and I knew from the start that they were close. But what I didn't realize was how much it would impact our relationship. I've always tried to be the chill, trusting boyfriend. I don't want to be the guy who's threatened by a platonic friendship. But honestly, it's gotten to the point where I feel like I'm the third wheel in my own relationship. Jake and Sarah are practically inseparable. They hang out multiple times a week, dinners, movie nights, spontaneous late-night drives. And I'm usually not even invited. If I try to join, it's awkward, like I'm crashing their private, joke-filled world that I'm not a part of. It stings, but I tried to let it go for the sake of keeping the peace. But then things started to cross a line. Jake texts her constantly, even when we're together on dates. It's not just casual stuff either. He calls her babe and sweetheart, and when I brought this up to Sarah, she laughed and said it was just their thing, and that it didn't mean anything. Apparently, they've been calling each other that for years. But to me, it feels like there's more to it. Who calls their best friend babe when they're in a relationship? Then there was the night I stayed over at her place and woke up at 2 a.m. to find Sarah on FaceTime with Jake. She was giggling like a schoolgirl, whispering so she wouldn't wake me. When I asked her about it the next morning, she brushed it off, saying Jake needed someone to talk to. But what about me? Am I just here as background noise while she stays emotionally tethered to this guy? The final straw came last weekend. Sarah and I had been planning a special weekend getaway for our 1-year anniversary, something we'd been looking forward to for months. But out of nowhere, Jake invites her to a concert the same weekend. Sarah asked me if we could postpone our anniversary trip so she could go with Jake instead, because it's a band they both absolutely love. I was floored. Our anniversary, something we'd been planning for months, could just be rescheduled for Jake? It was like I didn't even matter. I told her that this was too much and asked her to set some clear boundaries with Jake, like no more pet names, no more hanging out one-on-one all the time, and definitely no more prioritizing him over our relationship. She blew up at me, calling me controlling and insecure. She even said, "You knew Jake was part of my life when we started dating. Why are you trying to change me now?" Things got worse when Jake apparently told her that I was being toxic and trying to manipulate her. Sarah is siding with him, saying I'm overreacting and that nothing has ever happened between them. She's now furious with me for giving her an ultimatum, when all I really asked for were some boundaries that would make me feel like I'm her boyfriend, not just a side character in her life with Jake. Now, Sarah's giving me the silent treatment, and I'm starting to feel like I've somehow become the villain in my own relationship. Am I losing my mind here? I'm not asking her to drop Jake completely, just to prioritize us and respect our relationship. But maybe I've been unreasonable? So, Reddit, am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to set boundaries with her male best friend? Or is this friendship way too close for comfort? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Do everyone a favor and end this thing now. You will be doing Sarah a favor. She can have Jake. You will be doing Jake a favor. He can have Sarah. Most of all, though, you will be doing yourself a huge favor because you can find someone who sees you as her ride or die, and someone who is actually loyal to you because, after all, loyalty is the single most important factor in friendship, not being nice or liking the same things. Sarah does not believe she needs to be loyal to you. You know how I know? We can only truly know what we believe versus what we think we believe by watching how we act. The actions speak volumes. I suspect Jake is her moon that she doesn't want to settle on, but doesn't want to let go for the attention he gives her. Otherwise, why aren't they together if they've been ride or die since college? OP also doesn't mention Jake's status, but I'ma say single because he's waiting for her to see the light. You are not losing your mind. Their friendship and connection is not a normal friendship behavior when you have a boyfriend. She doesn't prioritize you. She prioritizes him, and it is an old saying. You should not judge by their words but look to their action. Her actions tell you clearly that you are not as important. So treat yourself right and leave her. You're not toxic. She is. In the meantime, if Jake falls hard for a woman, bye-bye Sarah. Although I don't believe that a man would be so invested in the relationship with a woman if he hadn't feelings for her, OP, you should have left from the time you went to hang out with them and felt like an intruder. Now for the first update. Hey Reddit, I'm back with an update, and let me just say, it didn't turn out how I expected at all. I first want to thank you all for the amazing support you all have given me. After reading over the comments and talking to some of you guys, I had made up my mind. I was done being second place in my own relationship, and I was ready to walk away. But what happened next surprised me. Saturday night, Sarah came over to talk. I was prepared to have the breakup conversation, but before I could get a word in, she told me something unexpected. She had canceled the concert plans with Jake. She said that after our last conversation, she realized how serious I was, and it made her think about everything. She told me she had been selfish, that she had been taking our relationship for granted. She said she'd told Jake she couldn't go to the concert, and instead, she wanted to spend the weekend with me. No distractions, no third wheels, just us. I was honestly shocked. Part of me didn't believe it. For months, I had been asking her to set boundaries with Jake, and suddenly, she was doing it? It felt surreal, like a last-minute effort to save something that was already broken. But she seemed sincere. She apologized, not just for the concert situation, but for all the times she had ignored my feelings, dismissed my concerns, and prioritized Jake over us. She admitted she had been blind to how much it hurt me and said she didn't want to lose me. It was emotional. She was crying, and I could see how much it scared her that I was about to walk away. For the first time in a long time, it felt like she was choosing me. But here's the thing, as much as I appreciated her apology, it didn't magically fix everything. I told her that while canceling the concert was a good step, it didn't erase all the hurt. I still felt like I had been competing with Jake for too long, and trust once broken is hard to rebuild. We ended up spending the weekend together as planned. We didn't go on the big anniversary trip, but we stayed in, cooked together, and had long conversations about everything: our relationship, Jake, the future. It was a roller coaster of emotions. There were moments where I felt like maybe we could make this work, but also moments where the damage felt too deep to repair. By today, I was emotionally drained. Sarah seemed to think things were heading in the right direction, but I still wasn't sure. I needed space to think. So, I told her we should take a break, give each other some time to reflect, and see if this relationship was something we both wanted to fight for. She didn't take it well. She cried again, begged me not to go, said she'd prove to me that she was serious about changing. But I needed to be alone, to clear my head without the constant push and pull of emotions. So, I left. I haven't spoken to her since. We agreed to give it a couple of weeks before we decide anything, but to be honest, I'm still leaning toward ending things for good. Could she really have set boundaries with Jake after everything? I find this hard to believe after months of me begging. I feel like I've already checked out of the relationship. And while her efforts are appreciated, I can't shake the feeling that it's too little too late. I'll always care about Sarah, but this whole situation has made me realize how important it is to be with someone who values and respects you from the beginning. Someone who doesn't make you feel like you have to compete for their attention. You all think she might have cheated on me with Jake. So Reddit, I ask, should I give her another chance? Or should I go through with a breakup? I would take the full 2 weeks and just rest. I know this sounds silly, but let your subconscious mind work through it. Eat well, get a lot of rest, read or watch movies. Just be. At the end of 2 weeks, do a gut check and see where you are. This is the play. OP, take your time and focus on you. Listen to your gut, but when the time is up, I would be curious to see if she talked with Jake or how she spent those 2 weeks. If she's truly sincere, she will spend the time working on herself and reflecting. She definitely will talk to Jake, for emotional support only, of course. Now for the final update. Hey Reddit, it's been about 8 months since my last update. Honestly, I didn't plan on ever coming back to this. After everything happened, I kind of just wanted to forget about it. Plus, Sarah eventually found the post, so I stayed quiet. But at this point, I don't care who I piss off. I think I owe you guys the end of the story. Plus, a lot of you guys have been asking for an update, so here it is. So, after my last post, we decided to go on a break. We had no contact for 2 weeks, and those 2 weeks messed with my head more than I expected. I didn't know what she was doing, who she was talking to, or where things stood. Eventually, I reached out and told her I wanted to break up. I thought I was ready. She broke down, cried, begged, told me she'd cut Jake off for good, said she'd block him, delete him, whatever it took. She told me she couldn't imagine her life without me and just wanted one more chance. And like an idiot, I gave it to her. Because I still loved her. This was the second person in my life I could say I truly loved. I didn't want to start over with someone new when I'd known her for so long. She wasn't just my partner. She was my best friend. I didn't want to lose what we had. At first, things were okay. She was more present. We spent more time together and she tried harder. But I wasn't the same. I had this weird feeling in my gut that I couldn't trust her, even if I pretended to. I just couldn't forget everything that happened. And I won't sit here and act like I was perfect either. When she was trying her hardest, I wasn't putting in the same effort. That hurt her. This went on for about 3 months. It started getting better, little by little. I thought we were making progress. I still wasn't all the way in, but I could finally say I saw a future with her. But the thing that really bothered me? Jake. She did stay true to her word and unfollowed him when we first got back together. This was almost 4 months ago. But one day while I was at work, I was scrolling on IG and saw that they had followed each other again. I asked her about it and she said it didn't mean anything, that they weren't talking. I let it go. Maybe I didn't want to know the truth. Fast forward a few weeks. We were at my place and she had fallen asleep first. That's when I saw an Instagram notification. I couldn't open it, didn't know her password, and I wasn't about to try and scan her face while she slept. So I ignored it. I couldn't sleep. I was restless, but I told myself I was overthinking, and I wanted to trust her. Fast forward another week. We went on vacation and were staying at a hotel. She asked me to grab something from the car, but the hotel room key was on her phone. So she handed it to me. That's when my insecurities got the best of me, and I snooped while walking to the car. That's when I saw it. And honestly, I felt nauseous. DMs from Jake, not just old ones, recent. Some unanswered, but some she did reply to. Messages about how she couldn't stand being apart from him, how it killed her to block him, how she missed talking to him, how she wanted to see him again. And then the part that really broke me, how she had developed feelings for him, but was scared to leave me because then it wouldn't be Jake and OP. It would just be Jake. She talked about how she didn't want to lose both of us. She had even seen him behind my back. When she said she was going to the gym, she was going to his place. I came back to the room and didn't say anything. I laid in bed numb. She eventually got up to take a shower, and while she was in there, she texted me asking if I went through her phone. At first I lied, but then she said when she opened Instagram, it was still on her DMs with Jake, something she didn't leave open. So I admitted it. I told her I read everything and couldn't believe she lied to me again. Her response? You weren't supposed to see that. I completely lost it. She tried playing the victim card, telling me I broke her trust by going through her phone and that I wasn't supposed to read what she told Jake. Like I was the bad guy in this situation. That was it for me. I didn't ask for explanations. I didn't want to hear any more lies. I shut down completely. I stopped texting her and only spoke when necessary for the rest of the trip. We had driven 6 hours from our hometown to visit some friends, so I couldn't just leave. We acted normal in front of our friends until it was time to go. The 6-hour drive home? Complete silence. I drove most of the way and didn't say a word. When I dropped her off at her place, she tried to talk to me, even tried to kiss me goodbye. I pushed her away and asked her to get out of the car. Later that night, I texted her that I was done. I didn't want to talk anymore. She tried to explain, but at that point, there was nothing left to say. I gave her so many chances, and she still chose to lie. Again, I don't know if anything sexual happened between them, and at this point, I don't care anymore. What I do know is I spent too long being second in a relationship where I should have been enough. So yeah, I'm single now. It hurts, obviously, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can finally breathe again. Thanks to everyone who gave it to me straight in the comments all those months ago, but also to those who told me to give her another chance. It hurt, but I grew and matured from this. You dodged a bullet. Someone who lies that repeatedly and then tries to gaslight you for catching them, you weren't supposed to see that, was never going to change. You wasted way too much energy on someone who was never fully yours to begin with. That's exactly what I keep telling myself. I wasted so much time and energy. I'm just glad I ended it sooner than later. Sarah, if you're reading this, know that you will never be happy, and you will never be able to trust someone because no one can trust you. Not even Jake. Honestly, I feel for you, man. That gut feeling never lies. You gave her another chance and really tried, but she kept that connection behind your back. That's not love, that's emotional betrayal. I agree, it felt like she was chasing after attention instead of something genuine. Glad you came back to update us. Sounds like it's been a rough ride. Breaks like that can really put things into perspective. Hope you're doing okay now. It was, but I'm doing so much better now, honestly. I feel at peace that I haven't felt in ages. Thank you. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my son that I'm not inviting his mom to my wedding? I, 33 male, was 17 when I got my high school girlfriend, Zoe, 32 female, pregnant. We lived in a small and conservative town, and her dad was one of the most influential people there. He told me that if I didn't marry her, he would be pressing charges of SA against me. So I was forced to marry her in a shotgun wedding. She was emotionally abusive and manipulative, and made my life an absolute living hell. She quit her job so that I had to increase my working hours, so that she could bond more to our son and manipulate him, and alienate him from me by painting the narrative that I was an absent father. As a result, my son despises me. One day, I caught her cheating with her now husband, and I walked out then and there. I decided that I was no longer gonna be afraid of her dad's threats, and that I will give her a divorce. She screamed and cried, and her dad had his goons beat me up, but I didn't bend. Even then, her dad used his influence to give me the least possible custody possible, every alternate weekend, by saying that I wasn't bonded to my son at all, and I would be an unfit parent to live with the majority of the time. Soon after the divorce, I met Miriam, 32 female, and we hit it off. She proposed, and our wedding is set next month. My son told me that he won't come to my wedding if his mom isn't invited, and I told him that he can feel free. My mom's calling me an a-hole, saying that he's a troubled teenager, and this is gonna alienate him even more. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Does your son know why you don't want her there? A quick sit-down explaining to him might be warranted now that he is older. I've tried to explain to him her antics, but he's been so brainwashed that he thinks she's virtually a saint. And before you talk about parental alienation, I can't sue her because her dad's gonna make sure I lose with his money. As a child of a manipulative mother, I would say, that's your right and I won't push it. But I love you and would love to have you there. I won't, however, cave to intimidation anymore. So if your mother shows up, I will have her trespassed. You will always be welcome. It took decades for me to see the monster my mother is. We do wake up. Sometimes we even loathe the monster. Knowing you have a safe, loving place to land when you wake up is important. I can't even file charges for trespassing if she shows up because of her dad. But you're right. I'm gonna try to say something like that.